Hi, I'm Jules, vocalist from SPIRITRAISER, and this is Tuonela magazine. I'm doing good. I'm in Finland. We did some shows with SPIRITRAISER and I'm really excited about the album. Also, the feedback is actually exciting time for us at the moment because, well, after everything and after you come back with this pandemic and you get to play shows again, you get to release some new things again. So it's exciting times, and that's the great thing. Of course, well, we have a big circle of friends, and of course we feed some of the material to ask the opinion from our friends. And already when we were like doing that before we released stuff, we were like, wow, this is gonna be interesting, and people were already, our friends were excited. And then after we put everything out, people give like we find our name somewhere in the internet because of course we search. we are interested like about the feedback, so we keep on digging because we want to know. And what we find is that it's been overwhelmingly positive, and people are actually writing really great stuff about the album, including also Tuonela magazine gave us a really nice review, and we were like, okay, great. It's fantastic when somebody actually listens and gets the concept of the album, and also really digs in deep to what it is, because it's not an easy album. It's a completely kind of, it has so much levels, and it can take you into so many places. So we are really happy when somebody actually gives a damn about it, because that was our escape during the pandemic. And we started to do the album already before everything happened in 2019, and we recorded 4 songs. But also from those 4 songs, a lot of the themes that went into those songs we also included to the songs that we recorded later. So there is a lot of the idea of escaping and going somewhere else, because sometimes the reality can be really harsh, and it can be just too pressing on you in this moment of what we're going through with everything that's going on, like with the pandemic, with the war, and with our environment and all these things. So it gave us sort of a breather in between, that we could focus into something that, let's build our place for us during this difficult time. And it was our escape, and I hope that because for me music is also a break. Music gives me a break, so I hope it also gives a break to people who listen to it. There are I think at least one song or maybe 2 songs from those times, because they were songs that we already started to play live, and they were new songs back then. So we played couple of these songs live already a couple of times in 2019. Yeah, and these were the songs that we recorded first. So there's a lot of material. SPIRITRAISER doesn't run out of material. There's like a bank of music that we have. And that was the funny thing during the pandemic. Then we were talking about like, how do we release this EP? And then we were thinking like, yeah, let's check out a little bit of the songs that we have in our Google Drive, and the material that we still have and we haven't finished yet. And then I was thinking like, why haven't I checked that out? Because I was so concentrated on those 4 songs, so I didn't even want to kind of go anywhere else, because I wanted to get these songs ready. And then I went to the material and I found out like, okay, we have at least 10 really great new songs here as well. So what about maybe doing these as well? Because now we have time, we don't know what's going to happen with the pandemic. And then we got into talks with Luminal Records, and they were excited about those songs that we already recorded. And then we introduced them the idea like, what about we could do an album, because that gave us time. Also because we already kind of knew like nobody knows how long this pandemic is gonna take. So it gave us the time to do the songs, and also we could also like postpone like, okay, let's not release in this point because we're not sure how the world is gonna be. And we were lucky enough to get the album out actually, well, it looks like the end of this in a way. So yeah, so I think time wise we did smart. So
Yeah.
we got everything out right in the good moments of time to be able to play the shows, and also to people to actually go outside and enjoy. It was really great because those songs that we found, or they always were there, but I didn't have the time to, or I didn't have the idea to go listen to them. But then when I did, I automatically sent a message to the guys like, wow, there's so much great material here, so why don't we start working with this and finalize these, and let's do an album, because we had so much material, and I already like every song I listened to, I started to get melodies in my head, and then I started to get rhythmic, and then I could already start working with it. And the guys were probably also kind of stepped back a little bit, because every week I sent them a demo of one of the songs, like, here's another one, here's another one. Oh, by the way, I already wrote lyrics for 3 songs, like, there's another one. And the guys were thinking about like, okay, we have to do this now, because he's like just forcing us to. But yeah, that was my escape during the pandemic, and it felt really great to be working with the material. We were searching for a label, because in many things what we do, we are really good at many things, but we are not good at making this label work, one could say. We suck at it. So there's many bands who can do everything. They can present themselves, they can do the promo by themselves, and they can do this, and they are just fantastic about it. And whenever I see a band doing this, I'm like, wow, why are we not that? But we're just not. We are just not. So what we need is to actually have a label to help us out with that, those things, and also promotion management, because we suck at that too, and also social media presentation, because we suck at that too. So we wanted to search for good companies to actually give us the chance, because we wanted to focus on the music, which is what we can do and we're good at. So we're good at making the music, but nowadays it's not enough, and that sucks. But anyways, because then again, we need the help of the label to actually give us the chance to present the music, and also from the promotion agency to spread the music, and of course the social media people also to help us out with what we can start releasing in the social media, and what helps and what not. And yeah, I'm really envious about these bands that are the younger generation bands who are like born into that, and we are kind of like old school. We don't know what to do with this. So yeah, it's really cool how the young bands already have it written inside of them, that they know how to do it. I wanted to keep the creative flow, but I also had idea for every song. So that was not like the last time. This was like, okay, I know what this song is about. I know what this song is about. And a lot of these issues came because of what I was checking out in my friends, what is going on. Like, people are losing their jobs, and people are having mental issues because of the whole pandemic. And everyone was going through like a really difficult moment, because we didn't know how to react to these things. We didn't know, okay, for some people it's almost impossible to stay at home, and they need to have their interaction with other people. And I think I'm one of those people as well. So my luck was that we get to spend this time with my wife and our pets at home, which we have plenty, so there was always something to do. and so we kind of kept ourselves company, and also just to make sure like that everything is okay and our home is a good place to be. And that was one of the most important things during the pandemic. But because of that power that I got from home, of course I could look outside and see my friends like losing their jobs because of not cultural happenings going on. Events were down and nothing happening, so I also wanted to get some of that anxiety from the feelings that I felt that some of my friends were really going through, but also myself, because I have also in the past had some depression issues as well. So it's not a thing that is completely new to me, and which was very ironic, because then when I came to Finland already to with the plan to let's start recording the album, then I got my own issues with depression and burning out. So then it was a weird situation that I felt like, okay, what I wrote about then is now I'm going through it and I have to lay down this in the studio. So it was a really difficult time in the studio at this time. It was very great to make the songs, but in the studio it became to be very personal. That was my first moment. That was my first feeling when I heard the mix, the complete mix of the album. I was like vindicated, because everything that there were, of course, some of the songs, they were easier to sing, but some of the songs had some parts that and some moments that it's just like I don't even remember recording it, because I was like somewhere in a dark cloud of my own, and then I don't have recollection because I was going through something, and my mind is blanking stuff from those sessions. So then of course after the sessions I could not listen to the songs. I could not. I was like, okay, I can't. This is just like I want to get my hands. I want to get this out of my hands, and I don't want to even think about it. But then I guess it was somewhere in January when we got the first mixes, and I told myself that I'm not gonna listen to the raw mixes. I'm just gonna listen to the whole thing when it's ready. And I knew that the Christian and who was also co-producing the album, I knew what he wants to have in the album, and I was completely confident in him that he's gonna get the best sound, and he will drive through that process. So I was not worried about what I would think about some mixes, like, yeah, put my voice there a little bit higher or something like this. No, I knew what he wants, and I knew it's gonna be great. So then the first time I heard the whole mix, yeah, it was like a moment of, okay, I remember now these songs, and it was a really, really great moment. Then it was a moment of realizing that I was already in a better place, and then when I was listening to the songs, I felt like, okay, I put that dark energy to those moments that you can now listen to in the album, but there is a kind of a flare of a something is flying all the time. So it's in the air, and that is a very positive flare that is in the air there in the album, which had to be something to do with, like, let's channel out this dark matter into this and let's make it to be something positive. And I guess you can hear that. There is a sense of frustration, of course, because well, they have one of the most horrible presidents of all the times in the history of the world. Bolsonaro is a monster, and so there's a lot of frustration that people are going through, at least in the music, and because it seems to be that people are trying to live in two different worlds. Some people are trying to live in some kind of a dystopia made by Bolsonaro, which is never going to happen. And then there are some people that want to be in some kind of a utopia of Lula, which is not going to happen as well. There's so many people in the middle. None of these sides are talking to each other. They cannot. They don't share a dialogue because there's nothing that is common in these sides. But the most of the people are here in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an impossible situation. There's election year at the moment, and it's going to be Lula or Bolsonaro who is going to win. And it looks like that Lula is going to win. Everything is better than Bolsonaro. That's my opinion. But I'm not sure if that is the right choice for Brazil, because there's so many people who don't trust Lula. So they might want to see something else. But there is no candidate. There is only two candidates. And I'm afraid that when they go back to Lula, it's gonna after that go back to the extreme right again.
Yeah.
So it's like a circle that goes on and on and on, and it's just never going to eat its own tail. It's not, and I hope it's gonna end sometime, because there needs to be some kind of a candidate of hope coming from somewhere to telling like, hey, we cannot continue like this. But there are so many problems in the whole political spectrum of Brazil, and it's not a simple solution. It needs a lot of time. But anyway, whoever, that's why I'm saying like anything is better than Bolsonaro, because he doesn't want to protect the nature. He wants to rape the Amazon completely. So if Lula, I don't care what his politics are, but if he protects the Amazon, and if he actually makes like clear decisions like, yeah, we're not gonna sell Amazon anymore, we're gonna protect it, yeah, that's great. That's enough for me. But then again, I don't have a say. I cannot vote.
Oh, really? Yeah, because you're...
I don't have the right.
Yeah, that's sad. I don't have the right to vote here either.
But I have a right to my opinion.
Yeah. Do you have the right to do politics if you wanted to? No.
I guess I could enter like local politics, but I think I would need to have a nationality. So I'm not sure, but no way I'm entering that. That's a hornet's nest that nobody should enter. The song idea came from Ola, and he was talking with a friend of his who was going through, has been suffering for discrimination in Finland based on her ethnic background or her origins or religion. So that was the basic idea of Ola coming to me, telling me like, okay, I would like this song to be about these experiences, what people go through in a society where they don't feel accepted, and they might feel that they are in the society but outside, and what are the factors of people not feeling to be accepted. So that was the basic idea of the song. And then of course we have our own issues with these things in Finland, and everywhere in Europe of course as well, everywhere in the world. So I wanted to kind of make that in the perspective of people who run away from persecution or they run away from wars. They can be refugees, they can be asylum seekers, they can be whoever feels threatened that they cannot live in the place where they want, but they find another place where they can actually express themselves. And Finland has, at least we have freedom of expression, so many people who come here, they can be themselves, and which is a fantastic thing. But many people then of course who come here, they feel like, okay, I was not accepted where I was, and now that I'm coming here, I don't feel accepted here as well. So they are living in this space that is a complete like insecurity. They might not have the trust for the system that tries to work for them here. They might not trust the authorities because of their experiences back home. So it's a very difficult position to be in. So actually that can be very hard to live through. So, and I've been working with asylum seekers for more than 10 years in my professional career. So I have a good idea of what people go through. So then I wanted to put what my experiences have been working with asylum seekers, for example, and then I took that world into the song a little bit, based on what Ulla wanted me to write about. So it was Ulla's start of the idea for the song. But then, of course, the timing of the song was quite brutal because of the war that started in Russia invading Ukraine. So yeah, that was not that was not meant to be the idea. But now that you look at it, it's like, okay, it's quite how do you say, like, it's a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
In a way, because we didn't plan it, of course.
Yeah.
But the video was made, and then they attacked, and then we are looking at the video, like, even it's made in the winter time, and the whole attack happened in February, and you look at it like, wow, yeah, that was not planned for.
Yeah.
There are a lot of bands who are singing about it, and I think most of the bands come from the punk scene, and I think they have always had that, and we have now actually very strong bands who come out with their message of politics and what goes on in the society, and of course one of them is Puara, excellent band, and I think it's always good to know, like, what you sing about. If it's your own personal experience, that's the most credible thing that you can sing about. So also when it comes to politics, it is personal. So but politics is also difficult because, of course, probably in music in general, at least in the genres that we play around with, we are dealing with many kind of, maybe let's say, in a lack of a better word, like a leftist environment, which you can feel. But then again, music listener who goes to the shows can have such a big variety of political ideas. So it's always usually it is like, if you are in a way known to be as a political band, then you know probably what kind of people come to your shows, because they usually end up being very much in the same way like you, or think the same way. Because if your biggest songs are about political issues, then people, of course, they hear you, and then you're preaching to the choir. That's your audience. And but in general about politics, I don't know why bands are so delicate maybe about the issue, because I don't know why it should be, because nobody should be excluded from the society about their political views, because we all have them. So I think it's a normal thing to talk about politics, because everything is around it, and especially this time, like, everything is, all the decisions are based on some political collaboration that is going on in the government about the COVID, about the war, about the environment. So if you want to close your eyes for that, fine, you can live in your own oblivion, but then again, you're not contributing. So because if we're not contributing to any of these processes, we're just like letting go. And if we let go, then of course we're just throwing everything in like a roll of dice. We're relying on luck, what goes on in the future, when you can actually try to do something that you feel is important, and you can be in the process of making something happen. But many people feel like that they feel like excluded. They don't think that, okay, if I go to vote, it doesn't matter anyway. My candidate is not going to win anyway, doesn't matter. So that's why like 40% of people don't vote. So that's also a kind of like a majority of a minority, and it's a weird thing. Like, even if when we have like a community elections, it's about 60% people who vote. So 40% is like, oh no, I'm not gonna vote. What does that mean? There's a huge amount of people who could give their vote for their candidate, who is speaking to them or making something based on what they would like to do, but they just decide like, no, it's not gonna happen. We have the status quo in the politics and nothing is ever gonna change. And sometimes it really does feel like that, unfortunately. But then again, if you never participate in that process, yeah, for sure it's not gonna change. That is for sure. But yeah, politics always goes with life in many ways, and we're not afraid to talk about it. Why should we? Because we are also these small pieces of the chessboard being played around. So maybe we can decide like who is at least behind the strings. But of course, we need to be also independent about everything that goes on and smart about our decisions, because yeah, it's about life as well. There is a, for example, in stream, there is a one version of Ciklos being presented in this character that we have in the video stream, and that's a version of Ciklos that was made by Mikko, who made the video, so that was his idea of what Ciklos could be. And definitely in the album cover is also, well, funny thing is that the album cover is actually originally a mosaic art made by Kalle Oja, and this piece of mosaic is, I think, is like this size, 1 meter times 1 meter, something like this, but it's big and it's heavy. And I've always loved that mosaic because it's been at the home of the guys where they used to live in a community, and they live with Kalle. So this work was always in the hall room or in the kitchen or somewhere, like the dining room, in the wall. And every time I went to visit there, I'm just always like locked into that. So I always loved that piece of work. So then I was thinking about, because we wanted to have the album about the cover about Ciklos, what it is, and I remembered this work like, yeah, that's Ciklos. That is one of the things. I feel that this is Ciklos, and the guys bought the idea. So Mikko, who made the video, he photographed the artwork, and then he modified it to be what it is. So it's not looking like the original, because I think the original is also very cool, but we wanted to make it a little bit different to the album so that it could be more about what the music is about. But yes, there is a version of the character Ciklos in the video, but also of course in the covers. We started to talk about like what the name of the album could be, and we and Anssi, we had couple of good brainstorming sessions like online, and we were talking about like, yeah, because the music is very astral, and it's also, it goes beyond our world, it goes beyond something that we have no idea about. So we were talking about like this galactic super being that's not like a god being, because I don't like the concept of god, but it's like a galactic super being who is in kind of a warden of the cycles that go through in galaxies and also in our own universe. So this warden uses like a three-dimensional compass to live through universes and live through time, and can appear wherever he wants, and but that is all based on like then some idea of quantum physics and all these things that makes this possible for this super being to be able to warden around the galaxy. So we wanted to have this kind of character and to be kind of like the that ties everything, all the songs together, because it is about, in many ways, it's about cycles that we go through. So that's why the name Ciklos, which is, I don't know if it actually means anything, but we like the word.
Yeah.
But he's the warden of the cycles, and can check out, like, for example, if we have been here before in planet Earth, and if there's been like a point that no, you guys are doing it wrong, then Ciklos is there like, I need to reset this thing, I need to go away, let's start over. and now maybe we are coming to an end of another cycle, and it's about us, if we actually can grasp the moment to make it a good one, to go to the next cycle, or we go back to the beginning of being apes and try to to have an evolution of maybe a better version of ourselves. But I don't know. I hope that we get through this, because it's a time that we cannot waste any more time. And if we just decide like, okay, we don't give a shit about the environment anymore, let's just give it a go. We are in 10 years entering the world of Mad Max, which is something that I don't think anybody of us wants to.
Yeah.
But we are running out of time, or actually we are out of time now. So
Yeah.
we have reached this cycle. Let's see if we can get to another one. It was great. It was really great. We had some technical issues. For example, we all used in-ear monitors. So there was one of the microphones, I think, in the drum set got broken, so that there was like kind of a distortion going on sometimes whenever the kick drum was hit, but something in my ears all the time, and everybody's. So that was a little bit challenging, and also I think some cable from Ola's pedal systems, just because of the vibration of the stage, it just fell off. Just it got out of the socket, and so he was trying to search for where is the problem, and already changed another amp to play with, and it was not the amp, and then somebody of our friends comes there and check it out, like, oh, it's the socket. The socket is out, the wire is out of the socket. So yeah, we had that, which was, of course we're gonna have that, because it's the first time we're gonna play after a long time. So that was like, yeah, it's bound to happen. But everything else was just like, I didn't get bummed out because of that, and I think nobody of us did. We were just happy to be there to play for people, and it was probably weird, because when people were there, they were looking at us like, why are they smiling so loud? But yeah, we were smiling so much because of we were able to play again live, which is what we love to do, and then we can also get the energy of everybody, and I think it had a really nice kind of feeling overall in the night, that with the audience. We had a great connection with the audience. I felt it.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who I think came specifically to see you, because there were a bunch of people who left for Flat Earth.
But there's, I haven't been to Finland for a long time, so maybe my friends wanted to at least, hi. I hope we get to talk a little bit at some point, but at least like, hi, nice to see you. So, but yeah, I was really happy about the outcome of people coming to the show. Really cool. We try to get some more shows booked for the autumn, and we try to play as much as possible in the autumn time, somewhere around end of August, September and October. So that's our goal, and we have a couple of shows already booked, but we will announce about those probably within a month or so when we get a little bit more. But yeah, we want to play more, and it's been really difficult to get shows. I mean, I'm sending like, okay, this is the everyday life of a small band musician. So I can send about maybe 50 emails, and I can send these emails to places who make shows, towns, venues that I think that we would be excellent to play on. and we're not reaching the stars yet. We know where we stand. We're a small band, but we try to gather more audience and open up for bigger bands, and it's really difficult. But the shittiest thing is that the places that, of course, they are overbooked now. Everything is overbooked. Everybody tries to survive after the pandemic and have a lot of bands to offer. So this is very understandable. But I guess it has reached to the limit that the venues, they don't even reply to you anymore. Please enjoy our album Ciklos. It's fresh new, about a month, released 1 month ago. It is something that it's gonna give you many moments. It's not the most easiest album in the world, but it'll definitely pay you back when you just listen to it. Give it time, enjoy it, and we'll see you around.